So hello everyone, my name is Boya Zhang, and today I'm going to cover the comparative analysis of education system between South Korea versus America. Now we're going to cover the difference between their structures, the educational focuses, the examinations, their findings, and lastly we're going to analyze the reasons behind such differences. First we can look at the structure of their education, which is pretty similar. South Korea's primary school is composed of 6 years. In the secondary school of middle school and high school is composed of 3 years each as well. While in the United States, primary could be 5 to 6 years depending on the individual circumstance. While the middle school could be 2 to 3 years, and the high schools are strictly 4 years usually. And in terms of tertiary education or higher education, it is pretty similar. Graduates, masters, and doctoral degrees are offered in both countries. Now look at the status quo. What are two type of educations look like right now? And we're going to look at the focus of the education first to see how are their concentration different. So in terms of South Korea, it is highly prioritizing STEM education, which is standing for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. There are reasons behind this. We're going to cover that later. And based on a PISA ranking, South Korea is ranked 7th in math and 11th in science internationally, which is pretty high right now. And when we look at the United States, it upholds a more holistic education philosophy, which fosters students' critical thinking, creativity, and knowledge of humanities, and STEM as well, but it's not predominantly compared to South Korea. And based on the PISA ranking, the United States ranked 13th in reading, 18th in science, while only 37th in math. We can see that that could be an outcome of the difference in education focuses. United States primary school and middle school, reading and writing is prevalent in most courses, while math is not that much required. We can look at simple stats. Could explain some of the concentration differences, because 40% of South Korean students ended up in a STEM major in college, while it's only 13% for the United States. We're gonna put a citation in the bibliography later. And now we're going to look at how the examinations and missions are different in both education. In South Korea, there is a standard test called CSAT, standing for College Scholastic Ability Test. It is the only entrance to the college, and it is standardized testing nationwide and happens only once a year. And based on statistics, each student takes about 12 to 16 hours in a day studying for the exam, considering that they're also deducting the time of sleeping and resting and taking meals. It is pretty incredible for teenage students to take this much of study, and which is really stressful for any human being. For the United States, the criteria of examination is much more diversified. It looks into the widespread skills and interests, especially in terms of college education. And when students trying to get admission, if you have applied for an American college, you know that there's our SAT or ACT score, which is more standardized testing score. And they're going to be your GPA and your personal essay and extracurricular activity being evaluated as well. This type of evaluation looks into students' leadership and other outstanding skills outside of academic, especially STEM academic skill. And there are huge differences in the foundings as well. In South Korea, it is more centralized founding by central government to each district and cities to ensure that the equalization of education opportunities. It takes about 5% of the GDP in total. And it is worth noting that because the course stress is so high, students usually take extra time and money into tutoring. And in the United States, the funding structure is more diversified in each level of the government. In the state government, in the local county, there's an education department for each of that. It takes about 6.2% of GDP total in terms of spending in education. And it's also worth noting that a problem in the funding is that affluent areas in the United States, affluent zip codes, they receive more fundings compared to lower income districts. And the federal government is trying to equalize such difference with federal fundings. And we need to look into the reasons behind their differences, and it is pretty clear. Because South Korea's economic structures and industry demand are highly different from the United States. Its economy is basically composed of some tech giants like Samsung, LG, and Hyundai. It is in Korean it's called chaebols, and these tech giants are huge manufacturing sectors. They require tremendous number of STEM majored students, and these skill forces shape their education to become more STEM focused. In their economy, there's tech manufacturing is composed of most of the wealth generation, and that could be a reason shaping their education. Well, in the United States, the economic structure is much more diverse, and the labor market is more flexible. As we mentioned before, only 13% of students are enrolled in STEM-related courses, majors in the college, compared to 40% in South Korea, and the rest of them could be varying a lot in terms of it could be more liberal art focused, and the entrepreneur culture. It is much more different in the United States, which is shaping the education system as well. It is requiring students with more knowledge in humanities, in critical thinking, and more liberal art degrees, in liberal art angles instead of just STEM concentration. There is also another reason in the Korean culture that shapes this difference. South Korea has a heritage of Confucianism in ancient East Asia, passed on from China, and which it demonstrates taking tasks as a means of raising social hierarchy, and that could be an underlying reason that is shaping the phenomenon in South Korea right now, which makes students and the policymakers focus on making the test as the one single criteria to evaluate students' ability. Well, thank you so much. That would be all.